I don't know about you, Jamie, but I thought that was a very pleasant ride.
That was most enjoyable. Sun, scenery, beautiful Highland
Hello,
weather.
guys.
Oh, there's Stephen. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How did you get here?
I flew.
What?
I only travel one way, that's it. What about you guys?
We were on the
We were
Rattler
on
and you
the
were taking
train.
the flight up.
On the train. Oh, sorry, lads. Sorry.
Well, anyway, that's the end of the international break. We're 6 games into the season. Let's get a little chat and a review of how things are going so far. What a day in the Highlands, eh? Back again.
Yeah. The sun always shines up north to tell me, Rory.
Yeah, you'll know, Jamie, you're from here.
Absolutely, God's country.
This is our Reservoir Dogs moment.
Morning, Dale, how are you?
Morning.
First up.
This will be 42 points.
There you go.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, boys, 6 games into the season. It's been quite the drama so far.
Yeah.
Great start for the Staggies.
It has been. It's one of those ones that until you actually get to watch the team playing regularly, you're not really too sure what you're going to get from them. And what's been difficult probably for Stuart and the backroom staff over the summer is trying to integrate so many new players into the squad. We've looked at other clubs who've struggled to do that. So I think the fact that they won their first 2 games with clean sheets will have pleased Stuart. I think the side's coming together quite well, but again, after 6 games, you probably look back and think they could have had more points at St Mirren. They probably could have won the game. Livingston, apart from the sending off, there wasn't a lot in the game. So you always think if we'd have added those points, we could be in a better position. But I think so far so good.
International break, a time for reflection, a time for reassessment. Where would you like to see County improve in this next block of games against some really tough opposition?
Well, that's the key bit, is the fact that they're coming up against, you know, the Hibs and Aberdeen and Rangers and Celtic in the next game, which is tough. You're probably looking at goal scoring. You know, I think when you've got Ollie Shaw, Billy Mackay, Lee Irwin, I know Lee's missed a couple of games, Ross Stewart has scored 2 penalty kicks. It's kind of bridge the gap to the next level. Scoring goals is crucial in winning games for you. I know that's the obvious statement, but it's turning those good chances into goals. I think that allows them to make that push towards the top 6 come the latter stages of the season.
What would you say would be the standout performance so far?
I think certainly the first half here against Motherwell, the way they started the game, the intensity they showed, they kind of tired a little bit in the second half, but then they managed the game well in the second half, so I think that was impressive. And down at St Mirren, you know, against 10 men, sometimes it's difficult to have to chase a game, and when they're sitting deep, and they managed to find a way through and get that equaliser. So there's been lots of positives, no doubt about it, lots of good performances, but it's only a good start. And unless you build on that and kick on, then you kind of waste a good start. So the challenge for the manager and the players is, can you replicate it, and can you go to that next level? And time will tell whether they can or not.
Well, thanks for now, boys. There's loads of good stuff to come on the show. It's been the best start to a top flight season for Ross County in their history, and here's a look back at the best of the action.
Support the Staggies and sponsor your favourite player for the 2020-21 season. Sponsorship includes listing on the club's website's player profile. Meet your favourite player at an exclusive meet and greet event at the end of the season. Receive their top, boots or gloves framed. Sponsor a home or away kit for £300, both for £500. Boots for just £220 and gloves for only £200. For more information, get in touch.
Oh, hands, Rory.
Oh, well
Hands.
remembered. Thank you, Stephen.
Exactly. On the ball, you
Very
know.
good. Where's Jamie?
I don't know. Has he been subbed? I tell you what, I actually thought he was doing okay as well. There you
Do
go.
you know what? He's doing an interview.
With who?
Coll Donaldson.
Oh, is he? Oh, there you go.
Yes. Take it away, Jamie.
Coll, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you. Grab a seat.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, I think it's fair to say it's been a mixed bag at the start of the season for Ross County. Some good results, some frustrating ones. What have you made of it all?
It was a brilliant start, like the first 2 games. I think we've sort of focused on them all through pre-season, the gaffer and the coaching staff, saying that we had the opportunity to start well. We managed to do so in the first 2 games, but we're looking to sort of kick on now and not really keep thinking about those 2 games. We need to go and accumulate more points, so the last sort of couple of weeks have been a wee bit disappointing in that sense.
Where do you think things need to improve then as we come back from this international break?
I think we can improve all over the pitch, to be honest. I think we obviously started with 2 clean sheets, which was great. There was a lot of positivity about the back 4 and the sort of whole team, the way that we were working for each other. I think we sort of need to get back to those basics of working as an 11 to try and get the clean sheet, and obviously going forward as well, we try to look to create more chances for the strikers. I think the last 2 sort of games they've been starved of real opportunities in the game, so all over the sort of pitch I think we can improve.
Defensively, you've been part of a revamped back 4. You've got young Josh Reid coming in, Alex Jakoviti and Conor Randall as well, the former Hearts player at right back. Have you enjoyed being part of that new unit? And it seems to be quite an effective one based on what we've seen so far.
I think the 3 lads there you mentioned have come in and done great. I think Big Al's been brilliant. He's taken to the Scottish League really well. Conor's obviously been here before, and then Josh being a young boy, it's tough to come in and play at this level straight away, and he's done really well. So it's been good.
Yeah, it seems to be one of the major things that people are highlighting, and no wonder. 60 goals conceded last season, the poorest record in the league. That seems to have been worked on quite extensively, as you're saying there, during the pre-season that you've had.
Yeah, I think we had a sort of meeting just before the season started where the gaffer sat us all down as a squad and highlighted like sort of goals scored, goals conceded and goals conceded. It was something that we were really keen to improve on, and I think we've managed to do so the first sort of few games. But like you say, like the odd goal here at Livy and then the goal at St Mirren as well, like you don't concede them, you walk out of there with 3 and a point. So, and it definitely has improved, but I feel like we can still improve further on it.
On a personal note, how's it been crossing the Keswick, crossing the Highland Divide from Inverness to Ross County? There's a number of players that have done so. What was the transition like for you?
No, it was fine. I think I was quite looking forward to the challenge. The chat that I had with the gaffers at the time built up a relationship straight away, so I was really keen on it, and it never really crossed my mind on who I might have let down. Or sometimes in this game, like it's hard, but you do need to be selfish, and it was a great career move for me at the time, and I'm glad that I made the decision.
Yeah, I guess you've learned some of those lessons the hard way as well, Coll. I think back to you coming through at Livingston with the likes of Mark McNulty. You get your move down to QPR in the Championship with Harry Redknapp. You're only 18. Things don't work out as well as you would have hoped once the guys got promoted there, and you're back up to Scotland. What was that period in your life like, and what lessons did you learn from that time?
I think the biggest lesson I learned is don't sort of take anything for granted in this game. Like at 18, coming through at Livy, like I had agents phoning me, I had all sorts of like managers talking me up and all this talking papers, and at that age you think, oh brilliant, I'm just going to be a professional footballer for the rest of my life, make all this money, never have to work again, and the real world doesn't even exist at that point. And then you go through the sort of tougher times and you realise like you're in such a precarious situation. It's so delicate, and one simple thing or one game or one training session or one sack-in where a manager comes in can change your whole situation. So you just take each day as it comes, and look after yourself, make sure that you're doing everything right that you can to give yourself the best opportunity in this game, because there are so many people that want your position, not just like in your team, but think how many free agents or how many full-time players there are in this country. You are in a very lucky position, so you need to grab the opportunity you have with both hands and just sort of keep working at it every day.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my family.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my teammates.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my neighbours.
When I hold the card, I stand with my brothers and sisters.
We're standing with everyone who's had to endure racial prejudice in their lives.
Racism comes in many forms, some clear, some more subtle.
It affects not just the victim, but friends, families and entire communities.
No one is born with it, and tolerance is taught, but it can be untaught.
To bring about change, we can't be afraid to take the first step. We fail when we fail to try.
We are supporting Show Racism the Red Card, our education charity.
Now more than ever, they need your support to give our future generation the tools to challenge prejudice, hatred and discrimination.
It's not enough to be not racist. We all must be anti-racist. Education is the key.
So this one must be important, Rory. First team office.
Must be full of important people as well. And look who we find in here.
Yeah.
Don Cowie in this new environment. How are you finding it?
It's been good. It's been really good. It's different, you know, to what I've been used to for 20 odd years. You're now in an office for, you know, a lot of the day. But no, I'm really enjoying it so far, thanks.
So when you think you started here as an 8 or 9 year old boy, you've gone full circle, back playing, now into the coaching role. It's been some journey.
It has. Probably something I didn't think was going to happen. You know, I had no real intention to coming back to the area. I was settled down centrally, my family were settled. But when the opportunity arose to come back to try and help the club, you know, back into the Premier League, I thought, yeah, I want a piece of that. You know, I want to be part of it. And, you know, we were successful. Now I move into a new role, the coaching role. Exciting times, and you know, really looking forward to it.
Well, you able to give us a little look around the facilities here?
I certainly can.
Great stuff, let's go. So has it changed much around here since when you were a 9-year-old walking these corridors?
Well, you know, the building's still the same, but you know, just the infrastructure, it's improved so much since then, whether it's the gym facility, the physio facility, the offices, it's just gone up another level.
It's impressive, isn't it though?
It is.
For a small club, people talk about up north. The facilities now are second to none.
I think when people come, they play, they don't realise what's beyond this stand.
Yeah.
It only takes people to actually walk round the other side and then they're a bit blown away. So I think it's a big selling point when players come up.
Yeah.
Can you come and have a look and you realise actually what is here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive, it certainly is.
So the gym, I quite like the old school feel to it. I think there's a tendency nowadays to spoil players. Everything's immaculate, everything's new, but I think the old school feel about it is good.
It's not too flashy. You know, what you see is what you get, but it's exactly what players need. It's perfect.
You've been involved from the youth side of the coaching as well, and through the under-18s and upwards. How important is that academy structure and building an identity with the young players coming through here?
I think it's massive, you know, because it's a massive catchment area that we've got. You know, you've got all the way up to the, you know, Caithness, then you've got towards Elgin, and then down towards Fort William. It is a massive area, so it's important that we've got this base, you know, to introduce players to come, you know, learn their trade, get good habits early, and hopefully then progress into, you know, first team players. It's easier said than done, but you only need to look at Josh Reid right now, a player who has been at the club. He's a local boy, and that's when you see something like that happening, you just realise how important it is.
And you had him, the under-18s last season.
Yep.
Did you see that potential step up happening for him so quickly?
I know it's easy to say, but yes, I did. As soon as the first session that we had, myself and Liam Fontaine, we went in with under-18s. He was one of the ones we initially instantly said, you know, he's got a right chance.
Why? What stands out in that session?
He just, his desire, the way he made contact with players. You know, younger players are a wee bit reluctant, maybe because of academy football. They're not quite getting close to the opposition player, whereas, you know, Josh instantly, no, you know, I'm going to train the way I want to play. And that stood out, you know, straight away for us.
Stephen's beginning to sweat next to all these cardio and weights machines. We should crack on to the next place.
No problem.
So how much, Don, has your day-to-day life changed? You're now in the coaching side of things. How is that? What's it like?
Well, the hours change. You know, that's the first thing. You know, you go from dedicating your life as a player. As you know, you could be away from the club if you wanted to be, maybe 1:30 in certain days because you've trained, and then you go away, and you know that them days are long gone. It's 7:30 and you're in till maybe 5 o'clock. So straight away you've got that transition, you know, to deal with. But you know, you get used to it very quickly. So I'm enjoying that side. You know, you're starting to look in the computer. You're analysing games. You're presenting to the players, which you know I've never ever done before. So that sort of stuff, it's all new. But one that I'm loving, really enjoying it, and just trying to improve as much as I can.
So you have to say it's good leadership by Roy MacGregor, the owner stroke chairman, that, you know, it's 3 young Scottish coaches moving forward. Do you complement each other well?
Yeah, I think so. And with the transition from me last year with the 18s, I had a relationship with Richie. He was doing the reserves, so you know that intertwines. And then with the manager, always felt comfortable around him anyway when he was the manager. You know, they both got good personality. So, like say, same age, probably similar beliefs. You know, we've all had football careers based on, I would say, working hard first and foremost. You know, that has been, you know, what our sort of game was based on. Yeah, we had ability and things like that, technical ability, but it was working hard and maximising.
Same mindset.
Yeah, I would say so. So that helps. You know, we're all on the same page, but we've all got different qualities. You know, they're quite probably, they can be quite aggressive and things like that, whereas I'm maybe a bit more mild mannered. So you know, we can help each other in different ways.
Well, let's head downstairs. I hear there are a few famous faces on the wall.
Yeah, we'll go and see if we can find one.
You'll be there a while then.
So when you take a look at the fixtures coming up, is it different preparing that way as a coach as opposed to being a player?
It is. You know, it's a challenging period that's coming up, but I look at it, I think it's an exciting time, you know, exciting games for the boys. You've got Celtic coming at home, etc. These are the games you want to be playing in. We've had a decent start, and it's a chance then to build on that.
So you've had a playing career, international career, coaching career, but this must be the highlight on the wall of fame, Don.
Yes, it is, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but my wife's on it as well. So that just sort of adds to the mix of the. Well, it's a proud moment, you know. Yeah. You dream of being a footballer when you're younger, and then to go on and play for your country and your local team in the Premier League, etc. And it's something I'd never, you know, thought would happen.
So you hope this will inspire the next generation. I don't mean just to be on the wall, but when they come in and they see so many players who've played for this club, that has to be a big driving force for them.
Yeah, you hope that's what happens. It needs to happen more often. You know, we've got to be honest. It's not happened enough. We've talked about Josh, who's come in, another local boy who's done it. But it's now up to us to try and progress more. Because of this facility we have, it needs to produce more players and get them in the first team. And now that, you know, the onus is on us as coaches to try and help not only the players but the other coaches within the club to make that happen.
So from 9-year-old to youth player to first team player to husband to player coach to coach, Mr. Ross County, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What a story. That's the dream, isn't it?
That's the way it should be.
That's what Roy MacGregor talks about.
That's the way he wants. You know, it's interesting, you know, we spoke to Roy earlier and he spoke about a small club having that ambition, that drive to get to the Scottish Premiership. And you look at other clubs, you're talking about Rory Rangers in the area, Celtic Hearts in the Lowland League. There is opportunities to do it, and this is a living proof of a club going from the bottom to the top. Terrific.
Well, thank you very much, Roy, for welcoming us into the stadium.
Delighted to have you here, guys.
At the Staggies bar, Stephen's usually on the champagne by this time.
I can't afford it these days, Rory.
How have you found the start to the season, Roy?
Yeah, it's probably been okay. I'm probably a hard taskmaster. I would have liked a few more points on the table. Thought we started particularly well. Sort of been a bumper two in the road since then, but probably if I'd said 8 points after 6 games, yeah, I would have been relatively happy in retrospect.
I can imagine these last 6 months as a chairman could have been some of the most challenging times for you.
I found them very inspiring because I was sort of, in my work, I'm dealing with economics, politics every day. So trying to sort of second guess what's going to happen and try and be ahead of the game was really important. And I think Ross County have been at the forefront of trying to be there, be at the front, take a wee bit of risk and try and second guess either what the government's going to do or the medical people's going to do. And I think we've just about been right in that instance. So, that's been a challenge and it's been inspiring and it is by the day.
And the bigger picture is, it looks like in the near future, supporters will be allowed back in the stadium. That's a huge step forward for Scottish football.
That's probably the biggest step that can be made because it's been kind of surreal for everyone, guys, including yourselves. So just having whatever number, 300, 500 people in here, I didn't realise quite how big the influence of the fans was, even for me, just sitting watching the game and not having people about. So I think it probably is one of the last pieces of the jigsaw in trying to put football back together again. And I hope the test games this weekend are the start of actually being able to take people back into grounds.
Does it make you, not that you wouldn't have before, but does it make you appreciate your fan base even more?
Wow. It's just, they are everything, and I can say it with my lips and my heart and everything else, but actually we have missed them so much. And as I walk around the community, they have missed us so much. So that connection is really, really strong. And I hope that, in communities now where football has been a challenge and getting people in through the doors, that people recognise the importance of the football club to Brecon or to Stranraer or to Ibrox. I think it's really, really important.
On your club itself, Roy, you made changes over the summer. Stuart became sole manager and Stephen Ferguson became the chief executive. How's that worked out?
Yeah, it's early days, but I think it was just trying to strengthen the club. In all ways, we were, we had built up Ross County people, and getting Stephen to go upstairs was really important, and he will be a great influence in it. And Stuart is on the start of a journey to be a sole manager, and he's had his bumps and rumps over the last week or two. So yeah, but they have desire, they have passion, they have belief, they understand what this club stands for in this community, and I think that's really, really important. And I think culture and beliefs and what you stand for, if that can actually happen at 3 o'clock on a Saturday as well as during the week, I'm very confident this club will be in the right place at the end of the season.
Well, next up, you've got the interesting scenario where you've got Celtic here at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, not on one of the broadcasters for the SPFL, but on RCFC TV.
Yeah, first time it's happened. It's just wonderful, and I've got some strong affections with Celtic because Fergus McCann has a big relationship with me, and what he taught me about the relationship between the fan and the football club. And in the early days, as he came and tried to revolutionise that club, it was just interesting to be part of, how a travel agent from Canada, saw a football club, and I probably got, under his bonnet, and I learned so much from him in his way, not my way, in his way. So quite a lot of the ideas that and our relationship with our fan base has come from that model.
Well, Roy, it's fascinating as always to get your insight. Thank you very much for your time. And here's how you can get involved and watch the game on Saturday at 3 o'clock on RCFC TV. Don't forget to guarantee your access to home games for 2020-21 with RCFC TV by purchasing your season ticket. Bringing you live breaking team news, our pre-match show in the lead up to kick-off, and with exclusive unrestricted content, there has never been a better time to be a season ticket holder at Ross County.
Want to have your own little piece of Ross County? Well, now you can. Buy a brick at the Global Energy Stadium and be part of the fabric of the club. For yourself or as a gift. It's the perfect way to forever be in the heart of the action. For more details, go to rosscountyfootballclub.co.uk or telephone the club at 01349 860 860.
Well, next up for Ross County here at the Global Energy Stadium, of course, it's the visit of Celtic on Saturday at 3 o'clock, and here's some action to get you in the mood for that one.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Well, Stephen, the visit of Celtic, it doesn't get much bigger than that. How do you think Stuart Kettlewell will set the team up to approach that game?
Well, it's a difficult one because as much as they want to win the game, if the setup's not right, your team structure isn't where you want it to be, you can be punished. And I think Stuart has probably found that over the past couple of seasons, that when you come up against the bigger teams, you've got to be prepared. So it's a big week for the players. You want to try and showcase what you can do. Everyone's wanting to see how you can perform against that next level. So Stuart will learn an awful lot about his team, about their structure, about individually how they cope with the ball, how they cope with playing against the better players. But I think the biggest thing is when you get them in your home ground, you've got to be fearless. You've got to get after them. You've got to show a real energy, a real appetite for the game. Try and take Celtic to an environment where they don't want to be. It can't be easy. You can't be passive against them. So I'm guessing the message from Stuart will be close to them, put them under pressure, stop them playing. But when you win the ball, you then have to try and put your style onto Celtic.
Of course, I mean, Celtic, 9 titles in a row. They've swept everything before them in the last few seasons in Scotland. They're going for 10. It's this huge season for Neil Lennon's side. What are the strengths that make them such a good side and such an intimidating side for everyone else to play against?
Well, first of all, it's the depth of the squad. The fact that they've signed David Turnbull recently from Motherwell for around about £3 million. They brought in Albin Ayeti in between £4 and £5 million. Patrick Klimala came in last January for £3.5 million, and they brought Shane Duffy in on loan. So when you look at the resources they have compared to what Stuart has here at Ross County, the gap is an incredible gap. But you have to believe on that day that you can close the gap and you can put them under pressure. But I think Celtic's players in the front area, like Ryan Christie and James Forrest and Callum MacGregor, El Yunusi, I mean, they're top talented players. But Neil Lennon has to get the balance right of what his setup's going to be. Will he play 3 at the back with Shane Duffy coming in? It allows him to play 2 strikers up the pitch. He's been criticised recently. Going out of the Champions League will have hurt them an awful lot. They had a good result against Motherwell last time out. So Rangers being 2 games ahead of them, having to close that gap. So psychologically, Celtic have a lot of hurdles to overcome. They will see coming here, the pitch is looking magnificent. They'll enjoy the surface. But really for them at the minute, it's about winning. But I think trying to win with a little bit of flair and a little bit of style is what Neil Lennon will be expecting.
Well, thanks for now. One Ross County player coming back into contention after a long-term injury is Tom Grivosti, and he caught up with Jamie.
Well, Tom, it's been a while since you were here in the home dressing room preparing to play a game of competitive football. First of all, how are you? How's the toe? And how are you recovering?
It's obviously been a while, and I can't wait to get back. But this week, hopefully back in training fully, and hopefully I can start getting fitness back to hopefully be back playing and being in here soon.
Yeah, you had a wee setback recently, didn't you? Just tell us what happened.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago I was back training. It was my first session back, full session back, and I basically, a piece of bone come off, but it weren't that serious, so they just said rest for 3 weeks and try and go again. So far it's went well, so hopefully that's the bad bits behind me and I can push on now.
Forgive me for saying so, but a piece of bone came off, but it wasn't that serious.
No.
Talk to us a bit about the injury itself. It's been 11 months nearly since you sustained the damage to your toe. Just remind us of what happened.
It was in last October at Rangers at home, and I can't really remember what happened. I think, looking back at the video, I kicked Morelos's foot, and about 15 minutes in, and I remember playing a ball and just remember my whole foot feeling like it fell apart. I tried to carry on, and obviously I couldn't. Like, I felt really bad, and then finding out the last week after, it was fully ruptured ligament, like bone come off and everything. And when I heard that, I knew it was quite a serious one. So obviously didn't think it'd be this long, but it's hopefully all behind us and we can get back soon.
Tom, mentally, how tough was it going through that really long, dark period of injury at such a young age when you're trying to make your way in the game?
Yeah, really hard. Like, just watching out the window, the training sessions, and being in the gym by yourself is hard. And even like watching the games and stuff like that, it's really hard. But even in lockdown, like, we obviously had that weird period where we're all back home and I'm injured and I've got no physio to work with and stuff like that. That was a tough period where I felt like I weren't getting any better and there was nothing I could do about it. So yeah, it's definitely the mental bit's probably the hardest bit about being injured, but just about staying positive and like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. On a broader sense, that's definitely not a Dingwall accent that you're sporting. How does a guy from Liverpool go from there to Bolton to the Highlands of Scotland?
No, it was actually the gaffer when he was a reserve manager. Spoke with my agents and I ended up coming on side with the reserves, and then obviously got a contract and lived in Dingwall for 2 years after that, and obviously broke in the first team, and this is my 4th season here now, so probably get a Highland accent after this.
I think you've got some work to do on that. So what are your goals for the rest of the campaign ahead? And I guess getting back playing is the #1 priority.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Like, obviously want to get back playing and stuff, but at the minute I just want to be training every day without any problems, and once I've done that for a few weeks, months, and I feel good, then obviously I'll start thinking about playing, but I don't want to look too far ahead. I just want to keep short-term goals, really.
Well, Tom, it's great to see you on the mend. It's fantastic that you're hopefully nearing the end of this long and difficult journey, and we hope to see you back out there on the pitch very soon. Thanks for your time.
It's been such a long time that he's been out, but it's great to see Tom getting back.
Yeah, it is. It's been frustrating for him, so hopefully he's back playing soon, that's for sure.
All right, boys. Found these in the dressing room. All each. Oh, crossbar challenge.
Love it. Love it.
Brilliant.
Stevie C on the tee.
Let's do it.
Synchronised, boys.
You say we're all going at the same time here?
No, because if I hit it, you'll say it's yours. He's going for power, and he's going for power. Oh! He's a rugby man.
All right, 3 points for Jamie.
Oh, dreadful.
Scuff. No chance.
Oh! Hang up, this is the one. Fancy this one. Ah, it's getting worse.
So Jamie and I are overshooting, you're undercooking it.
No, I've done.
See, I talked you into that, Jamie.
Super scooper. Oh!
One a bit under, one a bit over.
Oh, sorry, Jamie. Took that one. Huh? It doesn't matter.
Chase each other around.
Ah, we are.
Just like.
I'm not going along for you.
What's that? What's the pub by
this
the...
is it. Let's do it.
You got enough memory on those cards?
Oh! Drilled it.
Ah! Oh, yes, Jimmy! I don't think he filmed that.
You didn't film that, did you?
He didn't.
Oh, yeah.
It's on you, Rory. Rory can match it.
Yeah, this to equalise. This to send Craigs home.
Last minute.
Go for power.
To put me to shame. Oh. No. I'll do this. Beautiful.
That's actually a lot of fun. I've done that so long.
Well done, Jimmy.
What can I say? Who says rugby players have got no finesse, eh?
We can all be lucky once.
Oh,
I know that.
Well done, Jamie. And Jamie's won our big battle, but who will win the battle between Ross County and Celtic on Saturday? Join the three of us with John Hartson for an extended build-up to the big game.